You're watching the Tesla Life live with your host, Mark.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tesla Life number 352. Here we are on the 27th of March, 2024. March is almost done, people. It's flying by faster than we can imagine. Yes. But before March goes out, we want to run this show. And of course, we have a special guest tonight. We have Will has joined us from Tesla Jigsaw in the UK. How are you today, Will?
Bit sleepy. It's a bit late. But yeah, just fine. Thanks very much for having me. It's great to be here.
We really appreciate you coming on the show. And I know you're going to be a little bit sleep deprived tomorrow, but we certainly appreciate the effort.
I've got a cup of tea. I'm all right.
There, keep that caffeine. Keep that caffeine flowing during the show. Also with us, as per usual, we have Mr. Casey Green joining us from the Mid-Atlantic area of the United States. How are you today, sir?
Doing pretty well. Slammed at work last week and managed to get everything kind of tucked away just in time rather than the last minute like we did the last couple of weeks over here.
Very good.
And I had to apologize for Friday's Tesla Life Express. It wasn't at the usual time because somebody was distracted.
We're not going to name who. We're just going to keep that to ourselves.
Yeah, they're just at work, you know.
What's your temperature, Casey? We're going to play the temperature game today.
So in this room, we're
no, outside, not your room.
In the room is like 85, but outside is just 72 Fred.
72 Fred. All right. Very good. Also joining us as per usual, Mr. Patrick Connor from the Portland, Oregon area. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. Hello, Tesla Nation. I have no idea what the temperature is outside, but it's spring day, off and on rain. You don't really need a coat. So let's see what the if I can find the weather report here quickly. No, I can't. Yeah, anyway, we have a good show. Last week I promised a FSD report since I installed it version 12 right before the show. So I'll be covering that in a story later, so we can talk about it then. Awesome. Oh, and I do want to give one at the top of the show, a shout out to Kilowatt at the podcast. They mentioned carswithcords.net on their show. So thanks, Bodie.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. And just so you're aware, here in Southern Ontario, 5 degrees Celsius. And I have another Celsius buddy on. No, you're not Celsius, are you, Will?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought most of the world was.
Yeah, most of it is. England still operates on some of, feet, right? Feet and miles.
But you guys do it too. You can't say you're pure metric.
Okay.
Yeah, we do a bit of everything. We like to confuse everything with stones and all sorts instead of kilograms.
I see. Yeah. I see. Well, what's the temperature in Celsius in your neck of the woods today?
Oh, we've got a steady 12 degrees today, I think it is outside.
12 degrees. Very good. Very good.
Practically a summer's day for us.
That's right. Yeah. It's spring across North America, and it seems like spring is entering Europe as well. So very good. Very good. Well, let's get to it. We've got a bunch of news, which is not a surprise. Every week, there's always a lot of news coming in from the Teslaverse. And I wanted to touch on one that initially was about the Cybertruck. We've been watching the crazy resale values of the Cybertruck after its release recently from Giga Texas. And we've got now some undertones that the prices have stopped rising and that more sanity is coming to the used market as Cybertrucks now are not holding these crazy I want to be first pricing. It's looking like it's starting to notch back down. And of course, we had said this was probably going to come quite quickly based on the production of Cybertrucks. That's what's driving this. If there's a small amount of production and there's a lot of demand, people are going to try to get that truck however they can, especially the people that have to have those first clicks and got to have that truck to do a review or to maybe shoot it up or whatever. It's something that people are unreasonably happy to spend a lot of money to get that vehicle. But thank goodness it's starting to ratchet down, and the production amounts are ratcheting up. So that is perfect. Glad to see that.
And enforcement of the resale clause.
Well, we've seen some possible. Well, we saw one particular case where someone's I guess future reservations were canceled, and their their deposits. But beyond that, have you heard of anything else, Casey?
Not like I said, I've been nose down at work, so I have been keeping enough eye on it. But all it takes is to make an example of one to make the others think twice.
Yep.
So let me get this straight then. If you try and sell your Cybertruck, Tesla will not let you buy any future vehicle. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Minimum, yeah.
That seems a little harsh, but fair, I suppose. Enough people have been warned not to flip their Cybertrucks. And I guess, you know, this article is only really talking about the few very, very expensive Cybertrucks that, you know, how many people are really willing to pay so much over the odds for the actual, you know, value of the truck that they're getting. And there's only a handful here, I suppose, isn't there?
Actually, anybody that signed an agreement to purchase the truck also signed the agreement stating that they would not sell it within their first year of ownership. And if they did, Tesla could sue them for court costs and $50,000 worth of profit on it as well.
All profit minus 50,000.
Minus 50,000. So there is a stipulation that everyone that bought the truck had to sign that. And there is a question of whether or not it's really enforceable in a court of law or not, because of course it has not been tested. But that was the rules that everyone agreed to when they bought the truck.
Well, I mean, if Ferrari can get all of their customers to do this the right way, and if Ford can get John Cena to bend the knee, do you really want to be the first case to
I don't. There's no way that I would want to do that.
Right.
Someone else can test it with their lawyers. I have no interest in getting involved in that game.
Yeah, and Eric was talking about prices of Teslas overall. I believe I saw a X post or a mini article of a guy who got a Performance Model Y for like 25 grand after all his stacked promotions. Basically, you get the state, federal, and then reserved to Cybertruck, and then all the other stuff Tesla's doing if you bought one from inventory before the end of the month.
Wow.
Yeah. So it can be done if you don't mind coupons.
Yep.
If you're a frugal shopper.
Yeah. I'll take a coupon on that truck, no problem. Yeah. But
I'll take a Cybertruck for 200 grand if I could.
Exactly. Hello to Derek in the chat room. He's playing the temperature game at 17C, so he's the high hand right at this point. So let's move on and talk a little bit about yes, Casey, you had commented on this story. Why don't you introduce what's happening here?
All right. So the fine folks at ev-point have this is the right one, right?
Yep.
Okay, I loaded them out of order.
No, not ev-point. Sorry, not ev-point. It's the one about the Model 3 showing up at Giga Texas.
Yeah, sorry. Like I said, I loaded them out of order. The Model 3 was seen at the end of last week at Giga Texas, and it was in the outbound lot. And I had some speculation on Sunday's chat. I was like, well, why are they doing this? And Omar thought that perhaps it might be just like Giga China and Giga Berlin are export hubs. And so it was just easier to bring the cars there, drop them off, and get them all loaded together. I thought that was still a weird place to do it. Put it in the output lot. So I'd speculated perhaps maybe we finally have a Giga casted Model 3, or maybe they're making some Model 3s like just trials, or maybe they took a whole car through the factory, or maybe it's like the Tilden plant in the UK used to just put them together. They could have done that as well, because if they don't have Giga cast, there's no reason to make a car there.
So the original plan was to eventually build the Model 3 in Texas as well, wasn't it? That was what Elon remarked to a few years back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Otherwise,
they changed so much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, what's the possibility of these being ludicrous models, and why would there be 5 of them?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, yes, it stumped me, this one. I'm not sure what to think. What do you guys think?
Well, I'm still leaning towards, if it's not just pure they dropped off from another plant and they're getting shipped out, then they've got to be gigacast, because there's no reason for them to. I don't think they have the equipment to do all the multi-piece work and all the welding that is involved in a Model 3. Because the Model Ys there are either single cast for the structural pack, or they slam together a front and a rear.
Right. I don't know. With only 5 of them, though, that's the weird thing, right? Like, there's only 5 of them that show up. Nobody, of course, nobody saw how they arrived. Did they arrive in the truck? We don't know. But you're right, Casey, with the giga casting thing. The new Model 3, of course, has the single cast for the back, but Texas only has that machinery for the Y, as far as we knew, and of course now the Cybertruck. But it is something that is kind of perplexing that 5 of them showed up in the export lot, and to this point, no one's ever caught Model 3s being at Giga Texas previously to maybe have a stopover and ship them someplace else. Then again, this area where they're parked is their brand new export lot that they just finished striping and putting lights in. And this is a massively larger lot than the previous holding area for cars that were leaving the plant. So maybe because of the extra room, Tesla decided, well, just drop the 5 off for a day or 2, and then we'll be shipping them out someplace else.
But this is going to be curious to watch. I mean, because we have seen things like this before, where cars that don't really belong at a factory show up and come out, but we actually see them come out of the plant. They're like either learning how to do something or trying something out. Like we saw even before Model Y was ready at Giga Texas, we saw them bring some Model Ys from Fremont and then run them through Texas. So I'm hoping it's that.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of bizarre. But again, the drone army strikes again. Always a cloud of drones buzzing around, taking pictures of everything. So you can't get away with anything at any Tesla facility that there is out there.
Yeah. Isn't that fantastic, though? I just love that there's drone pilots absolutely everywhere. And if we ever get a UK Gigafactory or anything, or whatever's coming, I'm going to be all over that. I'll be getting my drone pilot license. I just love seeing what they're doing. I mean, I wonder what Joe Tegmeyer is thinking of this as well. I wonder what his thoughts are, because I guess he got the footage, didn't he? Yes, he did get the footage. I wonder if he's commented on what he thinks that they are.
He hasn't commented any further, but I don't believe they're still there. So they probably have been moved. However, for whatever reason. So my money would be on it was just a stopover for convenience sake. But
way out in left field, because it's almost impossible, but not zero. They could be Model X mules wrapped in Model 3 skin, because they should be smaller, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
that is out there in left field.
I like this. Let's start that rumor right here.
We know Model X is starting in Texas, not Mexico.
In fact, I'm almost guaranteed then they must be robo-taxis, pure, with just Model 3 shell. Yeah, you heard it here first.
I love it.
It's the only explanation. It's the only logical thing to think, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Next, we're going to roll on to another story Casey's going to handle for us. And this is about the number 500. What's this about, Casey?
Yeah. So number 500 Supercharger, MrSupercharger.com, over at Denmark, has something a little unique. And I'm sure Mark's got a picture for us. And we were all just commenting before the show that none of our 500 Superchargers had anything this special. Although we did have the special red one for number 50,000 here in the States. But it's not quite the same thing as what we're about to see here on Mark's screen. Is that a flag? I'd say it is.
Yeah, what's the stylizing behind it? That there's some image in there. Is that a city, or is that? It's hard to tell.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. It might be like a city or something. I thought it was just like
digital blobs.
Oh, it is got the number on it. 500th.
It does say 500th at the bottom.
50,000 doesn't say it's got a plaque.
Yeah. I think those marks are just random squares and chunks, though. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
it's a skyline.
It could look like modern art if you just squinted your eye a little bit, but that's definitely the Danish flag overlaying some blobs. But I can see where you can see city in this. Definitely, you can see
Yeah.
tall buildings like New York City or something. But
Maybe.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe it was a hedge in case their flag was copyrighted.
maybe
Promise.
that was it.
Yeah, I like it. This is cool. It would be nice if they did something like this in every country or even every state in the U.S. Hire a local artist to design something to fit that form factor and make it custom. That'd be neat.
It would, yeah. It'd be a nice landmark to go and see, wouldn't it? For Tesla geeks to go and find.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. Yeah, and then make a game who can get to the most, I don't know what you would call these flag spots or whatever.
Yeah.
The most special superchargers.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, we had in the UK, we had our, I think it was in 2020, Tesla installed its 500th UK supercharger on the A12 outside Colchester. And then by 2021, that number increased to 624 chargers. But as of 2023, there's 1,100 supercharger stalls in over 110 locations. And I saw 110 locations. I thought, surely that's not right. Because every time I look at the map of superchargers in the UK, it sort of looks pretty decent. But yeah, I counted. I got lost somewhere between 80 and 90. But there's definitely 110 locations. I thought that was really incredible.
Yeah.
But I want a flag.
Right.
Now I want a flag. Yeah.
Maybe for number 2,000, you can get a flag.
We also suggested guerrilla flag wrappings. Get yourself a vinyl shop, and instead of getting it made for your car, just have it cut to a supercharger, and then in the dark of night, just go and just wrap it.
Okay. The lawyers are going to be calling us, Casey. So let's lay this out. Send your letters to Casey directly because we're not having any part of this.
Protect you with your legal fees.
It's reverse vandalism. Beautification.
Productive vandalism. Yeah. I think we should all have a flag in every country. Let's make that a thing.
Yeah, definitely. I've already tweeted that.
Yeah,
Love
nice.
to have a Canadian one. I counted today just out of curiosity, and we're sitting at 2,180. So we've got quite a few stalls. Of course, we got nothing on the U.S., but the number in North America is absolutely massive. And of course, the vast majority are in the U.S., but not a surprise there.
And most of those in California.
Yeah. Yeah. We really enjoy looking at of course, we talked about it previously, but the Supercharger mapping site, supercharge.info, is a spectacular site that you can keep track of the new superchargers coming online. Even the one that's just about 2 kilometers from my house that's about to open up. So they have forums connected to it where you can view the progress of the superchargers. You can talk to other people that are actually on the ground and are submitting information. You can ask questions. It's a great service that anyone can have access to through their webpage. With that, let's roll on. This is kind of interesting. Let's talk a little bit about Tesla's scorecard. When of course FSD first started to show up, FSD beta, we had the problem that Tesla had the problem that they didn't want to let just anybody have FSD to access it. They only wanted, they said, the safe drivers. They wanted people that were a low possibility of an accident. And how did they do that, Casey? What did they do to you specifically?
Well, we had to drive like the stereotypical proverbial grandma, and we had to do it for months on end because Elon doesn't know the meaning of the word 2 weeks. And the car was tracking everything from how close you were following people, how hard you were braking. They didn't care what you accelerated like, thank goodness. How many G's you were taking during cornering. And it was just a mess. And then, thankfully, we were out of safety score land by the time this next one came up, where they would then penalize you for driving between the hours of 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. And I thought that was incredibly unfair because some people are still arriving or leaving work at that time. Or say you go to a show after work. You gotta, like, the people who this affects are people who are paying for Tesla insurance. And I get their actuarial tables and all of that, but there's a certain element of being customer friendly that you need to do. So they've gone back by an hour on this. So you still are penalized for driving between 11 to 4 a.m., but it's not as draconian as the previous approach, because some people are still just getting home from their events by 11 p.m. It's still not perfect, but it's more inclusive, it's better, and they've also put a sort of a weight factor on it. So if you get out and drive at 2 a.m., it's going to affect you way more than it'll affect you driving at 11:30. So even if you're in traffic coming from the concert, or just out with friends, getting out after the bar closes is going to hurt you a lot.
Really bad, yeah. But this is wrong. Like it is wrong in so many ways. Like, yeah, I understand that some people, of course, are abusing the ability to drive a car because they do get intoxicated, they do get into accidents, all that kind of stuff happens. But if you have a job that you work the night shift, or you have one that's you're working some sort of hospitality event, and you have to be out late or in early, then this type of stuff is really unfair to you, because you're not causing any of this problem, but yet you're being penalized for performing your job.
Yeah, I still contend that what they should do is, if you have an incident during those hours, they should count for like quadruple or even 10x, depending on what their weighting system is like. But if you're just driving to work and you never have an incident, that shouldn't affect your score.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll take the other side of this argument. They collect data. We've talked about how Tesla gets all kinds of data, and it's not just about your driving. It's also the environment in which you drive. So if you're driving at these hours, they know that there's a higher accident per mile driven ratio that happens at that time, and you cited when the bars close and other people who are on the roads and they're drowsy. It might have nothing to do with you, but that doesn't mean you won't be involved in an incident because somebody who is driving irresponsibly or tired or drunk or whatever hits you. So that's part of how Tesla sells their insurance. And if that doesn't fit your lifestyle because of your job or whatever, don't get Tesla insurance. No one's requiring you to get that. So I don't know. I think that's the way they're doing it, and if you don't like it, don't use it.
Yeah, there's an element of that, but in certain jurisdictions, it's kind of tough to get Tesla insurance because the insurers are just weird about it. Kind of like trying to get any insurance with like solar on a Florida home. It's not impossible, but it's going to be either really expensive or you got to jump through a bunch of hoops. Like on this particular house, I've got insurance from a Florida company. It's not in Florida. And they freaked the flip out when they heard that there's solar panels on it, even though they've been there for a long time now. They're like, "Oh, we need proof that you got them installed, and need the permission from the county to even do it." I'm like, "Who's got that stuff?" So I found my permission to power on email from the power company, and thankfully that was enough for them. But
yeah, some insurance companies have backwards thinking and archaic rules and other things. And if they can't advance to our new modern future free from fossil fuels, then they can get kicked to the curb. I mean, they still deserve customers if they have stupid rules like that. Oh,
yeah.
Well, we will see if this progresses. It was interesting to see that Tesla rolled the hours back a little bit. There's still be some tweaking that comes after this as well. So we'll keep our eye on it and certainly report as we see. Next, Will's got a story from his neck of the woods. What's going on, Will, in the UK?
Yeah, well, it's these Tesla Superchargers that have launched by EG Group in the UK. So the EG Group agreed a deal to acquire Tesla's latest ultra-fast charging units for EG's rapidly growing ev-point business across the UK and Europe. So, yeah, basically the story is just saying how these new ones have just come online. So these are Tesla Superchargers in disguise. They've just been, just had ev-point written over them. So, the chargers will support the plug and charge protocol, which simplifies and automates. So it's just going to be a simple contactless payment in order to use them. and they're going to be open for every EV car user as well. And this company happens to own, I can't remember how many there was 600 and something so sites across the UK and Europe. And my question was, how much are they going to cost to use? And I think I've stumbled across the answer of 65p per kilowatt hour. So that's okay. It's a little cheaper than companies like InstaVolt and a few of the ridiculously expensive ones who charge up to 85p per kilowatt hour, which is ludicrous. Tesla Superchargers, for example, in the UK cost roughly 39 pence.
Oh, wow.
Can be cheaper, can be more expensive. And, you know, for someone like myself who practically never uses the supercharger network, I only ever charge at home, I'm paying just under 7 pence per kilowatt hour overnight on a cheap overnight tariff by Octopus Energy. So that's an indication of cost for you. So, you know, I mean, this is going to be, it's great because obviously lots of other EV drivers need to have stable, you know, superchargers to use. And with the Tesla hardware, I'm sure these will be just great. I do wonder who's going to look after and maintain these then. I wonder if it's going to be ev-point or whether it's going to be Tesla.
It is apparently supposed to be ev-point. They purchased the units outright. And they may have a maintenance plan with Tesla or may not. I haven't heard that, but it is their responsibility for maintenance.
Right. And if they don't maintain them well enough, then they'll get removed from the Tesla vehicles if they don't meet the minimum uptime requirements.
The beauty of that is your car will do it. So the last person who plugs in and it fails, your car removes it from the database. And likewise, you know, if your car is the correct one of people trying it again to see if this one works, and they meet the criteria again, your car adds them back to the database. I like crowdsourcing.
Will, this is a question for you is to are third-party charging networks outside of Tesla in the UK, are they reliably up and operational, or is there issues with their reliability when it comes to people trying to charge?
I have to be careful with my answer here because I don't use them. I don't want my old sort of opinions to sort of tarnish my answer. But as far as I'm aware, they are, you know, nowhere near as good, nowhere near as reliable as Tesla Superchargers still, and they're all too expensive as well. You know, Ionity, Shell Recharge, Osprey, InstaVolt, Ubertricity. You know, if you look at the ratings of these reviews online, there's always a lot of problems. So, you know, it's the reason myself and probably lots of others bought Tesla in the first place, isn't it? Because you need a reliable and no one's happy to do so. So at least having these now where, you know, there's going to be a decent amount of charges per location, they should be reliable because of the Tesla hardware. You know, and there's another thing to mention on this as well. So Octopus Energy, which you might have heard of, are a great company here in the UK and in Europe. And they have the Octopus Electroverse, which is one card, one app, and one tap access to hundreds of thousands of chargers across the UK and Europe. So the companies that are just listed, you can just use this Octopus Electroverse card, and it just works on all of them. But you also get an app as well, so it gives you a map of all the charges, like you were talking earlier, Mark, about the I can't remember what was the app. Sudo.
I lost Will.
Will's locked up. The
thing that was kind of cool with this, and to his point about the third parties,
they for 4 days for a road trip with.
Go ahead, Will.
Because the last time I tried, it was just an absolute nightmare. You just turn up to 2 chargers, one of which will be broke, and the other one has a queue of 10 cars next to it. You know. Hopefully this will go towards solving some of those problems.
Yeah, by percentage, the ones here are less reliable than their third parties. And one thing I think,
Just so everyone's aware, we've got a bit of lag on Will at this time, so there's some over talking. We're not doing it on purpose. There's there's just a bit of lag.
You might turn your camera off for just a couple minutes and finish to save some bandwidth.
The signal's showing clear now, but I mean, just a couple of years ago, this would have been impossible. So this is high tech right here.
That's true. That's true.
The other thing I like about these Tesla.
Shall I stop my video?
It's okay now, Will. It's back, but there seems to be pauses. You can notice that by your up in your name. There's some bars. That bar is showing your signal strength. So if you see it within a little X,
I've got 4 bars.
Yeah, you got 4 bars, not 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
full bars, 5 bars.
Yeah. The third-party installation and purchase of the Tesla Supercharger hardware is that they get those cost savings because Tesla doesn't charge and doesn't pay as much as these other networks do for their equipment. I don't know if it's scale or they don't need to make the same kind of profit on it, but like when we see these permits go out, we're talking like $300,000 to $1 million a site, whereas for less units, we see folks come in at the hit the max for like the government funding every time, and you get like 4 garbage charges.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that obviously the UK has some of the same issues that we have over here in North America for the reliability of the systems that are not owned by Tesla, and of course with this EV new startup in the UK, not a new startup, but they're purchasing Tesla equipment. It'll be interesting to see if they can maintain them properly and if they can be as reliable as the Tesla chargers. And as Patrick mentioned, if they're not, they won't be listed in the Tesla cars as places to stop and charge. So they certainly are incentivized to make sure that those chargers run as they should. But we're going to see that here in North America as well. There is other groups that have purchased the version 4s, and but this UK company was the first to get it up and running, and hats off to them. So we will see as other of these installations start to come online and see how that works for everybody. Just wanted to do a quick update. We had talked a few shows ago about the West Hollywood diner that is under construction for Tesla. And actually, I've got a quick picture I can just show you right now. And you can see that some more work has happened. You can see the screen over here on the left-hand side, the frame of the screen that will be showing the movies. Mm-hmm. And you've got the actual restaurant itself, and it looks like they're starting to work on some interior aspects of it. They've cladded the outside in looks like some sort of weatherproofing, and obviously an exterior, some sort of an exterior veneer has to go on it as well to make it look presentable. But it's looking like some of the construction is now moving to the inside, and some of the cables that were to all the superchargers out here have been covered up, and we've got a new pit that's developed. We think that that's something to do with drainage. But certainly, if you have interest, there are videos online from a group called 24/7 Tesla, and they must be in the area because they put up a video about once a week of the progress of this particular massive supercharger in West Hollywood, California. So check that out.
I hope they have seating on the top level. That'd be cool. Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe not the very top level, but definitely the medium level. Mm-hmm. There's going to be seating, according to the plans.
From above, it looks kind of like a dropped Google pin, doesn't it? If they paint it red.
You don't see a lot of circular buildings.
Exactly.
I know. Look, it looks awesome, doesn't it? I can't wait. Mm-hmm. I'm so excited for you, even though I'm nowhere near it.
Might be worth a road trip for me.
Yeah.
Next, let's roll on with like some information. I'm sorry, Will, for talking over you. we've got the next story about
That's all right.
FSD push. So, Casey, you've looked a little bit into this, I'm sure, as to what is going on with this new push that Elon has sent employees letters, emails about them wanting to, I guess, provide a assisted FSD drive with every new car that's sold. So before you leave with your new car that you just purchased, they want to put someone in the seat beside you, put the car in FSD, and give you a short round the block test of FSD. And on top of it, now we've heard service is going to be involved. They're going to want, even if you go have service performed, they're going to want to put you in a car and give you an FSD drive. So this is something new.
It is.
Yeah, this one's my story, right?
I'm sorry, Patrick. My mistake.
Yeah, okay. So this comes to us from Drive Tesla Canada, and it has all the things that Mark just talked about, as well as Tesla is launching free FSD trials for new buyers and existing owners. And this article says in North America, where Musk's tweet said US. So this, since it is from Drive Tesla Canada, it might be wishful thinking, or Mark might actually get his chance. I'm not sure which. I hope you do. I hope you do. So here's the just a little bit from the article. Tesla's now offering a free 1-month trial of FSD for FSD-capable cars for new buyers, and in another effort to increase visibility of FSD beta among customers. So version 12 has rolled out. It's by far their best version yet. Musk posted on X, all US cars that are capable of FSD will be enabled for a 1-month trial this week. So when he says this week, I don't know when it's actually going to come out. And as you all know, when the software updates start, it's not like everybody gets the same one overnight. They roll out gradually. So you should be getting a free 1-month trial coming to you soon. So last year, Musk had promised an FSD trial for all cars in North America once the software was, quote, super smooth. And apparently they've reached that level. I have version 12. I've been driving it, like I said, for the last week. One thing to note is if you have the new Model 3 Highland or a CyberTruck, those vehicles are not part of this offer. So that was part of the all FSD capable vehicles, and those two are not yet apparently. So when we went from version 9 to 10 to 11, there were improvements, but they were incremental improvements, small steps. Version 12 is a big step. For me, it's the first one where I can consistently get zero intervention drives. It's at least into the parking lot. It still has some issues with parking lots, but it's working great. So with other versions, I had to take over all the time because it would do things that either were dangerous or just weren't very human-like, and it was disruptive to drivers around. And with version 12, it's so much better. I was cut off by a car in front of me, and it handled it exactly like I would have. It didn't overreact like it had in the past, and it did slow down appropriately, and they just got over 2 lanes, and so just cut in front of me without even seeing me. But it handled it really well. There was one where I needed to make a right turn, and you had to kind of go around a vehicle to get there. And I was about to take over because in the past it couldn't do that move, and it did it perfectly. And I was just like ready to grab, expecting it to do something wrong, and it didn't. It did it great. The phantom braking issue, there's this one particular little hill on my regular drive that I don't know what the old versions didn't like about that hill. Like, I don't know if the sensors or the camera thought it was, I don't know, because it was going downhill and then right back uphill, it would phantom brake there consistently. That's gone. What else? The construction. I don't know about you guys, but there's like 3 times more construction lately in around on the roads where I'm at. I don't know if it's the infrastructure bill or what, but for the first time, it handled construction great. There were cones that guided you off until you were using part of the shoulder as a makeshift lane to get around some construction. And again, I was ready to take over, and it just drifted right where it was supposed to as the cones guided it, going through crossing a bike lane marker because that bike lane was now being used as part of the road. That was this morning's drive to go get some bagels. So I mean, it worked great. We went skiing this week, and driving through the snow and the rain, it worked great. There's only two complaints I have. In the snow and rain, I would set the speed to 65, and it would be going 65, and then it would start slowing down. It'd be going 64, 63, 62, and it was really gradual. But eventually, I'm only going 60 in an area where the speed limit's 65, and it's because it was raining. So even then, okay, so I press on the accelerator and nudge it back up, and then it would do the same thing over time. And it's I don't know, being safe. And if it doesn't have confidence in the rain and snow, well, that kind of makes sense. The roads were clear, but and then the other thing I had
like the old one about slowing down for weather, or did it just slow down?
It was just gradually slowing down. I didn't see any notice. There was FSD capabilities reduced a couple times when it was raining heavy that it would say that, but it didn't disengage. It would just do that slow down thing. And then the one time it did not do well, I was on a road near the Clackamas River, and it's a windy road, and there was a left turn, and it took it kind of wide, and there was gravel on the shoulder, and part of the wheel went off the road. I was like trying to nudge it to the left and without disengaging it, but then I had to disengage it because when I started hearing the gravel sound, I'm like, okay, you're too far off the road. And normal people would have taken it, tight on the inside of the lane to avoid that. But that's not what it did. And so, we lost Casey.
Yeah. I hope we don't lose the feed. Oh, we lost the feed.
Are we still live? Okay.
We're coming back.
All right, we're all
back.
There we go. Spots, but that's cool.
So you just got the wheel on the gravel.
If I go over here. My shufflers.
There we go.
Hey. There we go.
You just got the wheel on the
this
gravel.
really makes me think FSD is going to happen sometime. Go ahead, Will.
No, that was Casey.
I just my mind is blown just hearing what it's like for you driving, like using version 12. I mean, all I'm doing is looking at videos and stuff. I just can't quite imagine being in the car going through what you're going through, just watching it tackle all these different scenarios.
Yeah.
I mean, what sort of percentage rate are you disengaging at now?
It's much lower than it used to be. It takes roundabouts really well now. We have a lot of roundabouts where I'm at, which is unusual for the US, I guess, but it handles those well. And
that's good to hear for the UK.
Yeah.
Just do the other way around.
Now, Patrick, you and Casey, I haven't had FSD. Casey and Patrick have had it for a while, and they've gone through the pains of the previous versions. Mm-hmm. That has been questionable. Like in some of the videos, as Will has mentioned, a lot of them are positive regardless, but a lot of them are shot in Southern California, where Elon used to live. And of course, the engineers really took their time to make sure that things were working just fine for Elon. But in the rest of the country, it was really a bit of a crapshoot on different roads. But you can definitely see a difference now, Patrick, in what was version 11 to version 12.
Yes, disengagement's way down for me.
So, Casey
sorry,
got that famous story where the car tried to turn him off a bridge, and of course, he stopped it, of course, because he was paying attention as he should be. Mm-hmm. But this is interesting. Go ahead, Will. What was your question?
I can't remember now. I'm thinking about you having to not drive off a bridge. That must have been terrifying. But then you think of people following their sat navs in Britain, and they just drive straight off the end of a pier anyway if the car tells them to. So it's not too different, I suppose. With FSD.
Those people are everywhere, Will.
Yeah.
But well done for avoiding it.
At the intro,
well, the footage I was particularly looking at was just I was looking at the edge case earlier. Sawyer Merritt just shared the edge cases video on there, and I was just watching this, watching the car just work its way across 4 lanes of traffic, but it just had to go through a tiny little gap as all the cars were coming, and I just can't believe it.
Exactly, and it's something that you just
Doing it.
That are some people are frightened to watch. We've seen people that get certainly nervous because they're unsure as to how the car is going to perform in the previous versions. But it sounds like version 12 has made a great step in performance of the whole thing. Many have talked about how there's definitely been a change, and maybe that's why Elon is now pushing these test drives, because a lot of people have put the FSD option in the back pocket and they're not using it because it scared them. It had issues with it. And now that we've got something that's a lot more solid, he's trying to introduce it so that the word can get out that things are better and you can start to use it and feel confident, which of course was an issue previously.
Absolutely.
Just that, part of it with the mandatory, hey, before they leave the premises, you must show them. I'm wondering if any of that was originated in Tesla Legal. Make sure that they couldn't say that, oh, we didn't read the messages and nobody told us, so we thought we could be like all the cases we're seeing in the news and try and sue the company.
I doubt it. That's just not how Tesla rolls, right? They that's why they pay lawyers. I think it's more about improving the getting more people to buy it and more people to trust it. And if it's one thing if you just say, hey, you get a free month when you buy it, and you should try it out, and then they may or may not try it out. But if you get a test drive with it, it's definitely going to be like, oh, wow, it did that. Oh, look at it turning the wheel by itself. And it's going to be so much more exciting, especially if they're doing a similar route with the cars. They're going to know where it works well, so they can take you on a route that it does a good job on, and hopefully has a zero intervention drive.
And if it's not, they can, it's the same route they take 20 times a day. They can say, all right, when you see the tree, hold the wheel a little tighter.
That's not that's not a great confidence-inspiring message to be told by the Tesla associate sitting beside you, I don't think. But it is, it's interesting. We'll have to see as this rolls forward. And of course, another problem that they could have is that these drives take a little bit more time, of course, in the handing over the car. So when you get into the final days of a quarter, every second counts. And of course, this is going to be a little bit of a thing to get used to for the Tesla associates at your local Tesla gallery or store. So please be kind to them because they're going to be a little bit under pressure.
A smart move for this implementation of this SNAP policy is to look and see when they go to pick up the car, if they're a previous customer, and if they've logged more than 1 hour recently with FSD, then skip it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or offer to skip it.
Even better.
Right. Yeah. If I bought a new Tesla tomorrow, I've been using FSD for a long time. I don't need it. You just show me how it works.
Yeah.
20 minutes right there. FSD on the way in.
You're right.
Last news story of the night we wanted to touch upon was this other story coming from Italy. And this is interesting. The Italian government apparently has been prompting a few electric car makers and asking them about producing a truck/van type vehicle, because they want to get a number of these gas-burning vehicles off the Italian roads, and of course in city centers where they're idling and spewing out noxious fumes through diesel or gasoline use. They're wanting, and they know it's possible. They're seeing the world starting to change in front of their eyes. They're seeing people with Teslas everywhere through Italy. The supercharging network is growing out in that country as well. So this is a good sign to see a government reach out to the people that can actually make it happen for them, to help them work on their climate change and pollution goals, to reduce this by starting to put an electric van/truck into the market, so that the businesses that are out there using these delivery type vehicles can get involved with something like this and reduce their costs as well as reduce their pollution. So not a big surprise that this is going to happen, but I'm glad to see a government actually reaching out to the people that can make it happen by actually modifying what they're currently offering, maybe adding a new vehicle to the lineup. And we're talking about, a large amount of vehicles. We're talking they want like over 1 million vehicles over time. So this is not a small thing. And of course, I can see this being something that can be used through all countries in the world. We've been all asking for some sort of a van or something. And now that Tesla's starting to get to the point where they're not as constrained by battery production, this could be something that's in the works. I'm sure they've thought about it. Maybe it's not part of their plan right at this moment, but having a government come to you and say, we need 1 million vehicles, that might be something to grease the wheels and get things starting to move in that direction. So, of course, I don't want to see them slow down on the cheaper compact car that could open up a lot more people to electric vehicles. I definitely want to see that something to come first. And of course, that's going to require a lot of batteries. But I guess once you start looking at these things, you know why they're battery constrained. There are so many low-hanging fruits on the tree that they can pick from. They're trying to pick what's best. But it's interesting to see that the Italian government is trying to push them in a certain direction.
This one reminded me of how Canada Post got basically they're getting Rivian vans without the Rivian van body.
Yeah.
And it's going to be another maker's product, but with the Rivian underneath. And this reminded me of that. And hopefully they take them up on it, because that would be, like Mark said, we're all looking for a little more variety in their offerings for various businesses and personal needs.
Exactly.
Let's buy all the things, as I say.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think if Tesla are going to release a van, though, they're going to actually release it and build it in Italy first, or would they not sort their own sort of American market out first, or coming out of Shanghai for the Chinese market? I mean, why? What's it exactly asking in this article? I did read it, but I'm a bit stupid.
They're really asking to have the vehicles to replace
creating the van or building a van. Is it asking for a whole factory build a van?
I don't believe they're asking for a factory. I believe they're asking for the actual vehicles to purchase.
Dreadful.
So it becomes a question of whether or not they can get the vehicles at all. At this point, they can't get them from anybody, and because they're not being produced in any significant amount. Italy obviously would like to have some sort of a production facility, as all countries would. But I think in this particular article, it seemed that they are under the requirement of actually getting the vehicles on the road, and it seems like production in their country is of secondary value based on the problem at hand. Although I'm sure that is a close second, and if they have talks, they probably talked about production within the country as well.
Yeah, that was how I interpreted it as well. That they really need the product, and of course, anybody for the development of their country would love a gigafactory. Hopefully, if there are any buy local requirements, then hopefully that would mean they could pop it out of Berlin if they're not ready to put a plant there, and it would make sense really, because Europe, you guys use more vans for your trades folks than pickup trucks like we do here.
Mm-hmm.
So like a cyber van sounds like a perfect little compromise, because then they can get it over there, we can get it over here for our people who need vans, because not everything can be done with that pickup format. I mean, yes, it has the tonneau cover, but that's still, you can't get inside of it and stand up like that. So yeah, this will be interesting to watch.
Well, I think what we're going to do is wrap this up with a question to Will. And we really appreciate Will staying up late with us here tonight. Just wanted to have a little, maybe an introduction, Will, as to what your Tesla story is. How did you get involved? How did you come to know and purchase a vehicle? Just a little bit about your particular story, Will.
Yeah, sure. My connection has just gone absolutely dreadful, though. I got the gist of your question, but if I disappear into a foggy haze, then just put your hand up and I'll because you've all frozen already.
Yeah, go ahead and turn off your video. Okay? Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, you're grainy.
turn off my video. Okay, so just press stop video.
There you go.
Okay.
So how did you get involved in Tesla?
Yeah. Okay, here I am. Back again. Well, yeah, I went to sort of buy my first electric car about 5 years ago, and just after obviously doing lots of research, just came to the conclusion that Tesla's the only one to sort of that would tick all the boxes, because my wife and I are traveling wedding musicians, so we travel around the UK. We thought we needed access to the Tesla Supercharger network, but as it turns out, we don't actually travel more than sort of 100 miles in one direction, and 200-mile round trip. So we don't even need the Supercharger network. So we were going to try and squeeze our family just into a BMW i3, which we thought was absolutely awesome when we test drove it, but it just didn't really have the range. So we decided to get a Model 3. And I stumbled across Zach and Jesse from Now You Know years ago when they were just getting started. So I sort of followed them for years, and then I've ended up being on their show a few times. I've made a few little videos for them, and I was chatting to them for half an hour. It's very, very strange. Speaking to them, because they literally got me involved in Tesla, really. And obviously
awesome.
we sold our house to buy a Tesla, and to put the rest in Tesla shares in 2019. And
that was good timing.
Yeah, that's it, really. And then my friends and family just disowned me from talking about Tesla, because obviously I'm driving them crazy. So I had to start a YouTube channel where I can take my passion online and just talk to people, like-minded folks online. And I should also say I've been a massive part of like the Tesla Owners Club in the UK as well. I've been to all the fully charged events and displayed my Tesla, and chatted to just, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people, and been to lots of events and stuff. And I'm just addicted to the story of Tesla. It's just, I kind of, it sounds a bit cliche and silly, doesn't it? But I just kind of wake up and I'm excited that Tesla exists and that Elon exists and SpaceX and everything that comes with it. Because, it is building as the future I thought would be here by now when I was a kid, and it's just all these amazing products, and the advancements in, robotics and FSD and, energy storage, the transition to sustainable energy for the whole world. And, I was just blown away by the Investor Day presentation. I must have watched that about 10 times now. Just, what they're giving us the kind of building blocks for the whole world to turn to sustainable energy just by battery storage and harnessing energy from the sun and wind. It can be done, as Tony Sieber and others have shown before as well. And I'm just excited to sort of share my experience about Tesla and tell everyone about it. But most people don't want to hear it, do they? They don't care. So that's I have my little niche crowd on my YouTube channel, and I've got a lovely little Patreon community as well. So if anyone wants to help me out and show some support, then please do subscribe to Tesla Jigsaw on YouTube, or follow me on X at Tesla Jigsaw. I post all my videos on X, and they do get quite a good watch time, but obviously there's no financial incentive there. And I'm really trying my best to aim towards making this my job, really. If I can just earn a little bit of money just to pay the bills, it would be amazing. But I'm only just over a year into it, so I guess I'm still quite early on. But and I find myself speaking to amazing guys like you guys, and feeling like I'm my imposter syndrome is going through the roof, because lots about this, and I'm just getting there.
I have to say, Will, that your videos are incredible. The editing is fantastic. It's a great package, and I applaud you for your effort. It's certainly above and beyond what we offer here, and we certainly thank you again for joining us this evening, being so late over there. But we really appreciate you coming by, and certainly invite you back at any point that you'd like. So thanks so much for joining us this evening.
Oh, thanks very much. It's nice to meet you all in sort of computer.
Yeah, definitely.
With that, we're going to do some shout outs, and we'll start with Casey. What kind of shout out do you have for us tonight, Casey?
You call to come by and see me on Sunday at 1:10 Eastern. And we do, if you like this format, we do this, and we talk about the what's going on in the EV world and green living and all the Musk goes, and then you never know who's going to drop on through. So catch us there on Sunday at 1:10 Eastern over at youtube.com/KCGreen, and on Friday for the Tesla Life Express.
That's right. That's right. Patrick, what do you got for us tonight?
As always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org. And I blog. Oh, I just noticed that I'm missing the S. It's carswithcords.net. I'll have to retype that next time. That's where I blog my journey towards a future free from fossil fuel. So the story that's up there right now, we have solar and batteries, but the solar panels, even though my roof is packed, it's not enough with the EVs and other stuff that we have to meet all of our electrical needs year round. And so we do still use the grid, or as Will might say, the mains. So the price for electricity used to be cheap here. It was 10 cents a kilowatt hour. But that was in 2007, 2008. It's gone up slowly. And now we're at 17.5 cents, which is slightly over the national average. So my solar over this time has gotten more valuable because now I'm using less of the grid. And not only that, I switched to time of use. And so now I only use the grid when it's off peak, which is when it's 6 cents a kilowatt hour. So even though everybody else's prices have gone up, I'm paying less than the national average. So it's nice. And I have the whole, how we do it and graphs of what our power use looks like. And when are we drawing from the batteries? When are we using solar? It's all up there, carswithcords.net. Check it out. Thanks.
Fantastic.
Ours went from 12 to 14. I thought that was bad. I could just go from under 10 to 17.
10 to 17. Yeah, that's horrible. And they every time they have to justify it through the Citizen Utility Board, and it's for things like there's a great big wind farm that they installed, and so rates went up for that. There was all the wildfires, and that caused damage, and then they want to upgrade a lot of the power lines so that there's less fire risk, and they don't have to shut them down during high winds and other things. So I mean, they've justified every raise, but it's still it still hurts.
Very good. Will, do you have a shout out you'd like to perform besides what you've already done?
Yeah, sure. So tomorrow in the next couple of days, there's Everything Electric, which is going on, which is formerly Fully Charged live events. So I'll be down in London at the I can't remember where it is, some arena.
GPS.
It's a new place. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, I'll be there with the Tesla Owners Club UK. So I'll be there on Friday and Saturday, staying over. So yeah, if anyone wants to come and say hi, come and find me there.
Exactly. And of course, follow Will on his Twitter and YouTube pages, and you'll be able to see what's going on in Will's life and how he talks Tesla to the point where people don't want to listen to him anymore, just like us. It's no difference. No difference. Yep. You have found some kindred spirits here, Will, for sure.
Great.
With that, I think we will roll the credits. We want to thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up. Press that subscribe button. It helps us out immensely. And we will see you next time and find out what's happening in the Tesla life.
Stay positive, test negative.